It's Mr. Dan the Art Man back with a brand new video. Today, I'm going to teach you how to make an elf. Now, today is a very special episode. I have some helpers today from my 4th grade class. Hey, 4th grade, say hi.
Hi!
Now, they're going to be drawing with me today, and at the very end of the project, they're going to share some of their beautiful artwork with us. So let's get started. To draw an elf, you're just going to need a few very simple things. You're going to need a pencil. A pencil with an eraser is great, but if you don't have a pencil with an eraser, just an extra eraser is nice to have. And then later on, we're going to need markers to outline our artwork, and then some colors. We're going to need some sort of color to color it a little later on. You could use colored pencils, markers, crayons. It's all completely up to you. So let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and put this to the side here. And I'm going to get drawing. Now, to draw this elf, it's very simple to do. All you need to do is just some simple lines, some simple shapes, and it's going to come right together. So let's go ahead and get started. Does everybody have a sharpened pencil?
Yes!
All right, we're ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start drawing my elf. And I'm going to start by drawing my eyes. Now I'm going to do some nice big eyes. So I'm just going to do some circles like this for my eyes. Just like that. Oh, and you know what? I think I'm going to use a marker. Do you think a marker would work better, guys? Yeah, it's not showing up too well on the camera. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to draw with a marker. I would recommend drawing with a pencil if I were you first, and then outline with a marker. Just in case you make mistakes. It's easier to erase. You can't erase a Sharpie marker. All right, so now I have my eyes on there, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add a little nose. So just kind of like a little bitty line here for my nose, just like that. What goes underneath my nose, Layla? What goes underneath my nose?
A mouth.
A mouth. So I'm going to go ahead and put my mouth on here. My elf is going to be happy. I mean, all elves are pretty much happy. I mean, they get to work in the North Pole all year making toys. Why wouldn't they be happy? So I'm going to draw a nice, big, smiling mouth. And I might even see the tongue in the bottom of my mouth. Now, later on, when you outline, you might just darken in your mouth. You may decide to add some teeth. I'll put some teeth on mine, in my elf. Just like that. All right. Now that we have our eyes, our nose, and our mouth, it's time to put our head in place. I'm going to go ahead and draw my head. Now, to draw my head, pretty easy. All I need to do is draw kind of like a U shape that goes around your eyes, your nose, and your mouth. So go ahead and draw a nice little U shape. I'll zoom in so you guys can see a little bit better. Now, an elf does not have normal ears. There's something different about an elf's ear. Olivia, what's different about elves' ears?
Elves' ears are pointy.
That's right, Olivia. They are pointy. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to draw some nice pointy ears, kind of like this. Now notice I left a little bit of space here. I'll leave a little bit of space here too. Draw my little elf ears. It almost looks like horns right now, but we're going to put a hat on there. I'm going to put a few lines in the ears. You know how ears have like those different little, there's little dents, divots in the ears. There's a hole in there somewhere. All right. Now it's about time to put my hat onto my elf. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do kind of like a cloud line in between my ears here, like these top lines of my ear. So I'm just going to do kind of a bumpy cloud line like this. And this is going to be the fluffy part of my hat. All right, so that's the little fluffy part. That's this part right here. So now it's time to put the top part of my hat. So I'm just going to do a nice big curved line, another curved line. This should get smaller as it gets towards the tip. And then we're going to put a little fluffy ball here on the end, kind of like a little cloud. How's our elves coming along, 4th grade?
Good.
Good. All right. You guys having some fun?
Yeah.
All right. Oh, man, lots of fun. All right. So the next thing that we need to do is we need to add this part onto our elf. This little, I don't know, it's like a little flare or a little decoration that goes around their neck. So this is pretty easy. I'm just going to put one line here, one line here. They kind of flare away from the head a little bit, and then just kind of like a zigzag line in between there, like that. And then what I like to do is I like to put a couple little bells on the end of that. I think it looks pretty cool. Now, what's neat about these is even though we're drawing the same thing, all of our elves are going to look a little bit different. And that's because everybody has their own art style. Everybody has their own way that they do things. Things always turn out a little bit different. That's what I like the most about doing these drawings. Even though we're doing the same thing, they're all going to turn out different. So I'm going to put a line here and a line here. Now, what this is like the line for our arms. So we're going to start with this line on the outside, and then in between that line, we're going to do kind of like another U shape like this. That's going to be like where the belly goes. I'm going to put a little fluffy ball right here for the cuffs. He's got like some little fluffy cuffs. And then he's got his hand that goes in here. I'm not going to add much detail in my hand. I'm just going to do a little curved line. And I'm running out of room on my paper. I'm running out of room, so I'm just going to go ahead and draw my legs like this. His legs are hanging off the edge of the paper. You can add some other things, like maybe add a little belt. Like that. Now, if you have room, 4 feet, you can just draw some feet like this where they kind of curl around and they have the nice little pointy toe, or the pointy shoe, I should say. And I put a little bell on the end of that. So those are 2 different ways that you can do this. So that's about it for drawing my elf. My elf is pretty well done. Now at this point, what I would do if I were you, you used pencil. Most of you used pencil. If you used pencil, I would go ahead and first outline with a black marker. Now I'm using a permanent marker. Those work pretty good, but if you don't have a permanent marker, just a regular black Crayola marker works just fine. Okay? So you can go ahead and outline everything, give everything a nice bold outline, and then you can color these however you want with whichever colors you have. So I know some of you might have markers, some of you might have crayons, colored pencils. And some of you guys, you might even have paints at home. You can use whatever you want to color these in. Now, some of my 4th graders today have some elves that they've completed that they would like to share today. So we're going to go ahead and do that real quick. I'm going to go ahead and put these images up on the screen. So if you have an art project to share today, bring it on up. We have Olivia here. Olivia has a beautiful elf that she's going to share. You can check it out here. Very good. Now, Olivia's elf, I really love how she added some extra things in her project. She added some snowflakes. She even put a sign for the North Pole. Really, really cool. Very good job. All right. Oh, it's Susie the elf. I love how you came up with a name for your elf. That's what's really neat. When you're doing something like this, you can always become a little bit more creative, and you can have fun. And you did Susie the elf. Fantastic. Great job.
Thank you.
And we have Emerson here. Emerson again. Lots of snowflakes. Beautiful. I love how you did striped stockings. That was a really cool idea. Awesome job. And I have Skylar here. Skylar did, and she put presents in the background. Look at all of this coloring work. Did that take you a while to do? Yeah, all these stripes. I could tell that it took a while, but it turned out fantastic. Awesome job. All right. Oh, look at this one. It turned out really nice. I love the hair with the little hair right here. That turned out really nice. The candy canes. Did you do marker and crayon resist in the background for your stars?
I put white crayon and then I put black marker behind it.
Oh.
And then it made it show.
That is a very cool technique, and that's something that the students can do at home. So what she did is she first started by adding stars with a crayon, a white crayon, right?
Yeah.
And then she colored over it with Crayola marker, right? Like the Crayola black markers.
Yeah.
And what happens is the wax in the crayon won't allow the wet paint in the marker to stick to the crayon. So it does like a little crayon resist, and it comes out really nice. So if some of you want to try that at home, Mallory did something really cool here that you might want to follow along with. So very good. I'm sorry, Lucy. Lucy, I said the wrong name. Sorry, Lucy. And Josh did the exact same thing here. He did some of his stars. Awesome job. Awesome job. Now, what is the elf sitting on? He's sitting on something.
The sleigh.
He's sitting on the sleigh. Very good.
He's actually with Santa right now.
He's actually with Santa. Very good job.
And on the sleigh with the reindeers.
Well, Josh, you did a fantastic job. Awesome job. And then we have Hudson here. Hudson has a very colorful elf, and I love how he did like elf with stars. Why did you put stars on your elf's hat?
Because he's really tired.
Because he's really tired. Hudson always does some really cool stuff. He always puts a lot of thought into his artwork, and I love seeing his work every time he brings it along. So
because
awesome.
This hand's ice and this hand's fire.
Oh, so you have fire and ice.
Turkey.
Awesome job, buddy. Awesome job. And we have Brendan here, our last one for the day. Brendan has a very nice elf. Great job. Is there anything you want to say about your elf? Does he have a name?
Brendan Jr.
Brendan Jr. All right. Brendan Jr. Well, hey.
Can I point one thing out?
Go ahead, point one thing out. You want to point something out about his elf?
I bring our room, so I kind of did me a little droopy.
Oh, yes. I like that. That's a good thing to point out. So Brendan ran out of room, and he didn't have much room for his hat. So what he did is he changed it. Instead of having his hat like, up and tall like mine, he made his droopy. So he had a problem, and he figured out a way to solve it. Great job, Brendan. Awesome job. Well, hey, boys and girls, you guys did awesome. Thank you for sharing your artwork. And boys and girls at home, I hope you enjoyed this video. Until next time, remember, art is...